Welcome back everyone. As you have probably guessed, we are using the power of our new centrifuge for getting helium out of glowstone. We are using it for making some helium laser emitters, so that we can get our first circuit assembler. One other machine we need is a polarizer. Since it works with magnetic units, we also need an electromagnet to power it. The polarizer doesn't care about the orientation of the magnetic field, but we can choose where we want to have the north and where the south poles. Anyways, we now use it for making a magnetized steel rod. With that and other stuff, we can assemble an MV dynamo inside our circuit assembler. And, of course, by default it will drop it on ground. Maybe it is hinting at us that we should have some chests for better automation. To drive this dynamo we are going to need our titanium turbine. A chromium one would have sufficed, but we want to be on the high side of the MV voltage spectrum. And we are going to use it for powering an electrolyzer. That will give us some nitrogen that we will be using later on. Our second MV machine is going to be a lightning processor for making some silane, which we then move into a distillery with some silicon nuggets. And, after giving it some more power, we finally obtained some polycrystalline silicon. We shall bring it to our crusher to get some crystalline silicon seeds, which we move to our crystallization crucible. We also add the nitrogen we made earlier on. And we should not forget about some molten silicon. This is the recipe for making silicon boules and it will take quite some time. While we wait, we can give an usage to all of the creosote oil we have stocked up. Let's start by making some dense fluid in the burning boxes for our MV energy production. We shall also have a drum on the site for checking how much fuel we have close by, and we shall hide the pipes in the wall. We shall also improve our personal crucible. We are going to make a dense chromium burning box. This bad boy will produce more than 400 heat units per tick. And we are going to recycle our old chromium crucible inside the new one we made the last episode. I don't know how a crucible fits in a crucible, but look at how fast our new burning box can heat it up. This is a dangerous toy, so we are adding a layer of safety. The next thing we are going to make with our new improved heating power, is some titanium gold alloy, which, for some reason, is named as undefined while in the crucible. This alloy is perfect for making tools. It has more than 10 times the durability of bronze, and twice the mining speed. And, most importantly, it has a mining level of 4. Most materials have a level of 2 and a few times we had to get our old uranium wrench because it was one of the few metals we had capable of reaching just level 3. By the way, you can know the material stats from the tooltip of any part made out of the interested metal. Anyways, our silicon boule is finally ready, so let's cut it. We are going to use a buzzsaw powered with a gas turbine fueled by hydrogen that had been made as byproduct a while ago. And we also need some lubricant. To make it, we squeeze some seed. Then we take the seed oil to a mixer and add some redstone. We move it to a drum and then, with the help of a measurement cup and a tap, take out just the right amount required for this crafting. We give space for venting to the turbine and we get our crystalline silicon plates. And we shout down the turbine by removing the fuel tank. Then we realize we have to cut the plates again, so we give back the fuel to the turbine. For this crafting, we can use water in the place of lubricant. And thus we have obtained some tiny crystalline silicon plates, which we are using for some good circuit parts. Next we need more circuit boards. This time we are going to use a laser engraver to cut costs. To make the ruby lens, we are going to sharpen a ruby plate with a grindstone. For making cheaper foils we are going to use our bending machine. Instead of one with circuits, we have 3 different machines. The first one is called rolling mill, and it does plates using ingots. The second is called roll bender and it curves plates. The third one is called cluster mill, and it does foils out of plates. Next we use the ruby lens in the laser engraver to get circuit wiring from the copper foil. We press the wiring on some cardboard circuit boards. And we use the circuit assembler for adding the circuit parts, thus making some good circuit boards that we have to solder. We must be careful on what we solder it with. If we use lead, we are going to get only a tier 1 circuit. So let's make some soldering alloy. And we finally have obtained tier 2 circuits. We are going to use our new circuits for an MV battery buffer and some lead MV batteries. We are making rubber with a better recipe in the RF chemical reactor. And making thick wires with a loom. And we make cables by adding the rubber onto wires with a laminator. Now, I think we should overhaul our electric workshop. Let's start by moving into a chest all of the tanks on the back wall. We also need a better floor. Then we shall have our MV power generation in a more compact setup. We are hiding the pipes in the wall. And we shall start charging up our batteries. Next we shall have our MV machinery. And we must never forget the covers for avoiding the energy waste. We shall have a long power line for future machinery. And we are feeding our old LV stuff with a transformer, which is going to charge up our old batteries with 4 amps. Now that we know it works, we can hide the cabling in the floor wall. Now that we have more power and space, we can move more machinery into this room. In the next episode we are going to work on big machinery that is going to cost us a lot of resources. Like a lot of aluminium for the cryo distillation tower. And a lot of stainless steel and copper for the oil distillation tower. So, I'm going to load up the big crucible and I'll see you next time when we have more resources. Bye bye.